It's that time of the year. The end of the year is coming, so that means your boy has to hop on the train and do some end of the year lists. I would like to call this the Megalodon MMA Awards. Okay, you could shout out my manager Snibbin for that title. But anyway, I just want to do like a little top 10 lists of best fighters, best fights, worst fighters, worst fights, blah, blah, and all that stuff. And obviously, the first one we're starting with is the best fighters of the year. So I'm trying to do this not subjectively, a little bit of subjectiveness in there, but I want to be like objectively also. It's like who had the best year, who were some standout fighters, who are people who are hyped, who are in title contention, who weren't in title contention that now are in title contention, who have improved. So that's what the metric is for this list that I have. So if you guys have problems with who I pick, fuck it, flame me in the comments. But anyway, let's get into it. And I want to start off with, I think I chose 14 fighters. I know that's a weird fucking number. But I was going to do a top 10, and I was just like, there's a lot more people that I want to talk about. And I couldn't really find a 15th. There's some people I was thinking of, like Bilal, Gilbert Burns, Charles Oliveira. But I'm like, those guys really fought only once. And Gilbert Burns fought. He was very consistent. Neil Magny, Jorge Masvidal, Bilal Muhammad. But then he lost against Bilal Muhammad, and then he got injured. So he was out for most of the year. So I didn't include him. If anything, he would probably be my number 15. But anyway, let's start with the list. Number 14, we got the homeboy, Bo Nickel. Now, that might be... People might be like, oh, casual take, bro. Bo Nickel, bro, he fought fucking cans, bro. And the fucking Jamie Pickett one, that was fucking bullshit win. It's still a win. He still had two first round finishes. He's a high prospect. He has one performance of the performance bonus. Yeah, they're still called performance of the night bonuses. But yeah, he got one performance bonus, 2 first round finishes. Sure, the Jamie Pickett one, maybe he needed him in the groin, whatever. But I still believe he would have finished that fight. And then, he fought the other guy. I forgot what his name was. That's how irrelevant he was. But it was still hype. He still has a lot of hype around him from the Dana White Contender Series. He's calling out all these guys. Hamzat's interested in fighting him. He thinks he's a better wrestler than Hamzat. And, we need some new blood in the middleweight division. And this is a good prospect in the middleweight division. Middleweight's pretty stacked, as you guys have seen from my fucking ranking the division's worst to best list. I put middleweight as the second best division because there's a lot of hype prospects, and it's really funny because I think the next person I'm going to be talking about is also in the middleweight division. But just a little bit more about Bo Nickel. He's hype. He's a personality. People get riled up when he's like, yeah, I'd take that dude down. I'd beat this dude. I'd fuck up that dude. And people are like, oh, bro, get in the cage, fight a ranked fighter, blah, blah, blah. And that's the only thing that's really keeping Bo Nickel down is that he hasn't really fought really quality fighters, if you know what I'm saying. I think Jamie Pickett had like a losing record in the UFC. The other guy, like I said, was so irrelevant. I don't even remember his name. But you remember Bo Nickel and you remember the finishes. But anyway, on to the next one. Another middleweight division fighter, ranked 13th in the list, not in the middleweight division, is Joe Pyfer. The reason why I put Joe Pyfer in here, as you can tell by the bullet points, he has 2 finishes this year. He's actually moving up in the rankings. He's fighting Jack Hermanson next year. I think Jack Hermanson's 10, 11, 12, maybe? That's still more progress than Bo Nickel, if you know what I'm saying. He has a performance bonus. And, he had that character building moment where he was talking about how he was almost homeless and Dana White paid for him. So people hear that story and they're like, oh, Joe Pyfer, I'm rooting for this dude. He just wants to make it in the UFC. He just wants to support his family. He just wants to support himself and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So he has like a character and a personality behind him. An honest personality behind him. Instead of like this Bo Nickel like, oh, I'm better than everyone. I'm not even ranked in the middleweight division. Yeah, I could beat everyone's ass. You know what I'm saying? That's mainly what I wanted to talk about Joe Pyfer. Very impressed with his performances. As you can tell, he has a performance bonus. He has 2 finishes. I think he's fought in 3 times this year. I think Bo Nickel only fought twice. I could be incorrect. Please forgive me if I'm incorrect. I'm impressed with Joe Pyfer, and I think he's more impressive than Bowman Nickel, mainly because he's actually moving up in the rankings. He's testing himself. He's not just relying on hype. He's hyping himself up by moving up and by having these fucking badass performances. And like I said, he's a nice guy. He has a character building moment. He has a good personality to him. You just want to see this man win. Anyway, on to the next one, the 12th. Khalil Roundtree Jr. I originally wasn't going to put Khalil Roundtree in here because I'm like, but I'm like, his fights are impressive because he has an aggressive fighting style. He goes in there like those dudes owe him money or something. Like he's fighting his demons in there. He's not fighting Anthony Smith. He's not fighting Chris Dawkins in there. He's fighting his fucking demons. And both of those fights ended in a finish. Both gained performance bonuses. And he's just overall exciting. I think he's an exciting fighter. I want to see more from him. I want to see him get tested. I want to see him have a main event. And I want to see how he faces against the top of the division. He's an interesting fighter. I wouldn't say he's like a crazy unbeatable fighter. Like I'm really impressed with him. He's very impressive, but like I said, the people he fought, Chris Dawkins coming down from heavyweight. Chris Dawkins probably could have made fucking flyweight with how much fucking unnecessary fat he had on him. But you know, whatever. He didn't want to. I think he's cut from the UFC anyway. And like I said, he has a very aggressive fight style. It's very entertaining to watch, very meticulous and almost kind of savage. His fight with Anthony Smith, he didn't really push the pace. He was he was countering. He was following a game plan. Anthony Smith was coming forward, plotting man Anthony Smith. Oh, that's another reason why Khalil Roundtree. Honestly, Khalil Roundtree should have been number 1, bro. He beat the on-paper light heavyweight champion fucking Anthony Smith. And that's deserving of a fucking number 1 ranking, if you ask me. But as of right now, we're putting him at the number 12 spot. If I'm pretty sure this is number 12. But anyway, on to the next one. Shout out Khalil Roundtree. Jailton Almeida. I know. You're probably like my third bullet point. Second bullet point. You're like, bro, that fight with fucking Derek Lewis was fucking stinker, bro. That shit was a dookie butthole. You know what I'm saying? And it was. And I agree. Dana White agrees. He said, let's just all forget about that. But we can't forget about it. That's why he's not higher up. But he did have 2 other fights that both gained a performance bonus, and he fucking finished those dudes. He's impressive, but the Derek Lewis fight kind of showed his hesitancy with ground and pound. He didn't want to open himself up because Derek Lewis could have just shot up. But what if he fights someone like a Tom Aspinall? I feel like maybe Cyril Gahn could get up from him because he was just afraid to do ground and pound. I don't know what was with that performance. It was in Brazil too, I'm pretty sure, and he didn't want to show up for his fans. Like, what the fuck? You're just going to lay and pray, wet blanket Derek Lewis? That's why you're not higher on these rankings. I was very excited. I'm like, Jailton Almeida's that guy. He fucking finishes fights. He's so impressive on the ground. Light heavyweight. Heavyweight is a fucking disappointing with grappling and wrestling and all that. So I'm like, Jailton Almeida is going to pop on the scene and like change the division. And then he gave that shitty Derek Lewis fight. So I guess we'll see with Curtis Blades. Maybe Jailton Almeida will go higher up on the 2024 list. But anyway, on to the next one. Number 11, I think, Alexander Volkanovski. I know this may seem weird because Volkanovski is 1-2 in 2023. First fight with Islam was almost historic. Pound for pound number 1, pound for pound number 2 on the line was the fucking lightweight belt, Islam's belt. And it was a very competitive fight. Everyone was counting out Volkanovski. They're like, he's too small. Islam's going to out-grapple him. And then he went out there and had such a close, not dominant, but he had a close performance against Islam, who everyone was hyping up to be this dominant champion because he's Khabib's protege. And he's only had 1 loss in his career. And Volkanovski also only had 1 loss in his career. But now he's unfortunately has 3 losses in his career. So it was a very hyped matchup. And if the second fight didn't happen on short notice, I think Volkanovski would be higher on the list. Because that first fight with Islam was so close that he didn't even lose his pound for pound number 1 ranking. And he actually defended his belt, the 145 belt, against Yair Rodriguez this year. So he still had a very good year. Pretty sure he walked out with a big fat bag of cash. But you know, that second Islam fight kind of did him in. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would have been way higher on the list if the second Islam fight didn't happen. And it was kind of definitive. Islam just, I mean, you could say, oh, he caught him, it was fluke. No, I don't know. It was a very well-placed head kick. He was setting it up, and yeah, I mean, Volkanovski, you're still number 11, number 10, whatever I just said. But anyway, on to the next one. Shout out Volkanovski, that's my dog. Benoit Saint Denis. Benoit Saint Denis, 3 finishes, 2 performance bonuses. He's an actual hyped prospect in the lightweight division, not these wannabe, oh, Paddy Pimblett, he's so hyped. Like, they're not trying to force Benoit Saint Denis on us by fucking shoving him down our throats and him giving boring-ass performances. He's an entertaining fighter. He's hungry. He wants to, like I said, exciting and with the shits. He's with the shits. He wants to finish these fights. He wants to get up there in the rankings. He wants to become a champion. You can see that hunger and desire in him. He's a very entertaining fighter. He's very exciting. And like I said, lightweight is iffy with the hype and the prospects, but Benoit Saint Denis is an actual high prospect. And I want to see him fight Arman. I want to see him fight Islam. I want to see him fight all these guys. I want to see him get up in the rankings some more. But there's a lot of gatekeepers in the top 6, top 5 of the fucking, lightweight division. I feel like, if anything, he might fight Beneil Dariush next as like a stepping stone. I feel bad for Beneil Dariush. Bro did not have a good year. But anyway, shout out Benoit Saint Denis. This guy's fucking awesome. He's exciting. I can't wait to see him fucking fight again. Anyway, on to the next one. We got Arman Sarian. I was just talking about Arman Sarian. He has 2 finishes. He beat the shit out of he didn't even really beat the shit out of him. He one-punch KO'd Beneil Dariush. And I forgot who he fought earlier this year, but he also knocked him out. A lot of people were like, he's boring because his Mateusz Gamrot fight was iffy, but no offense, Mateusz Gamrot's kind of not that entertaining. But, I feel like he's taking the criticism and he's going out there and finishing these dudes. He's fucking them up. And also, I think he's now top 5, top 4. I don't know exactly what rank he is now. But now he's in title contention. But the only thing that's really holding him back is he going to have to wait out for a shot at the title? Because Gaethje is waiting out. Charles Oliveira is waiting out. Dustin Poirier doesn't want to fight any new up-and-comers. Fuck Dustin Poirier. Fucking gatekeeping your fucking number 3 or whatever 4 spot. Whatever fucking rank you are, fucking asshole. But yeah, and then he has a history with Islam. They fought when they were both young. It was very early on in both of their UFC careers. And now he's improved a lot. He kind of seems like a threat to Islam. He has very good grappling. I forgot who he fought. Joel something. But bro was laying down. He cut him open. Ketchup sandwich, as Tony Ferguson would say. But yeah, he's an impressive grappler. He has the sense of urgency to finish fights. He has dynamite in his hands, clearly, because he knocked out. I don't know if Beneil Dariush has a sus chin, but he has knockout power. Absolutely flatline Beneil Dariush. And like I said, the history with Islam, we want to see that. It's a storyline. It'll sell pay-per-views. It'll hype up the press conference because he really wants that fucking rematch with Islam. He thinks he could be a champion, and I feel like he could potentially be a champion. But we'll see what 2024 has installed and tuned for Arman Sarian. Anyway, next up we got Dricus du Plessis. Okay, this may seem very iffy. This may be some subjectiveness because you can argue that Benoit Saint Denis and fucking Arman Sarian had better years than Dricus du Plessis because Dricus only fought once. That's the only detractor from Dricus du Plessis. But his one fight was a title eliminator. He could have gotten the title fight against Adesanya, but he was injured, so Strickland stepped in. And that's also another thing. The Strickland hype. They're hyping up their fight a lot. I'm very excited for it. I know a lot of people are excited. Twitter was blowing up after they jumped in the crowd at UFC 296. Dricus may have said some insensitive things to Sean Strickland, but that's a video topic for another time. But anyway, yeah. The only detractor is really that he only fought once. And then he unfortunately got injured. He could have fought twice. And I'm pretty sure he would have beat the shit out of fucking Israel Adesanya. And then the reason why I put him in this place above these guys, like I said, you can argue that Arman and fucking Benoit Saint Denis had a better year than Dricus du Plessis. The hype behind him with the Adesanya fight, with the whole controversy of I'm the real African fighter, even though he was just like, I'm the African fighter. He didn't say I'm the real African fighter. He wasn't diminishing their Africanness. It was just blown out of proportion. He was very hyped. I wanted to see that fight. A lot of people wanted to see that fight because he has good grappling, and he probably would have grapple fucked and submitted Adesanya. But his performance, the one fight he had was against the unsung GOAT of the middleweight division, my boy Robert the Reaper Whittaker. And he was the only person to beat Rob since 2014. I just realized it says to be Rob. I fucked that up. But, you know, we all make mistakes. So, yeah, that's a pretty hype fight. I know Strickland was trying to diminish it. I would fuck up Whitaker. I don't know. Topic for another video. But he was trying to diminish it. But that is an impressive win. He was like the Max Holloway, Colby Covington of the middleweight division. If Adesanya wasn't there, Robert Whitaker would have been champion. And he went out there and finished that dude. He got a performance bonus for it. Either performance fight of the night. I forgot which one. But, yeah. So, I feel like that win holds a lot of merit for Dricus du Plessis because he's in title contention now. He almost got a title fight, but he got injured. So, I feel like this spot makes sense. But like I said, if you want to argue that Arman and Benoit Saint Denis had better year than Dricus, I will understand. I'm not going to call you retard in the comments or something. But anyway, next one. On to the next one. Brendan Allen. This one may seem a little weird because Brendan, the level of competition, he fought Paul Craig. I think he fought Andre Muniz. And I think he fought someone else. I forgot who. But the reason why I put him here, obviously because he has a history with Sean Strickland. I will admit, when I saw that fight, I was like, fucking Brendan Allen, get him fucking out of here. He sucks. He's just going to be a unranked fucking fighter just like these other guys. But then he started improving, and then he started moving up in the rankings, and I'm like, okay, actually, maybe he is with the shits. Maybe he can give Strickland a tough fight if he gets up there in rankings. There's a history there, and I want to see that fight play out again because I feel like the Brendan Allen now against the Brendan Allen that Strickland fought, I know that was like a weird catchweight fight because it was like, made on 1 week notice or something. I feel like this is a different Brendan Allen, obviously, because you improve every loss, every win, no matter what. You're always improving. And I'm very impressed with Brendan Allen. Because, like I said, I was not going to lie. I was kind of a hater. I was just like, just some fucking stupid fucking... He's not going to get ranked. If anything, he's going to be like 11 and below. I don't even think he's going to crack the top 10. I don't know if he's actually in the top 10 yet. If he is, big ups to my boy Brendan Allen. Very impressed with his performances. I can't wait for him to go up in the rankings and potentially challenge Strickland for the title. Whoever wins, Dricus or Strickland, I want to see him win fight for that title. He's a very impressive fighter. He has very good grappling. His striking isn't all too bad either. So you know what? Shout out Brendan Allen. On to the next one. We got Justin Gaethje. I think we are approaching the end of the list. Justin Gaethje, not really a gatekeeper like Dustin Poirier, but he was for a while. But then he actually fought an actual high prospect in Rafael Fiziev, and he showed that he's still with the shits. And he also showed that he's no longer a sloppy fighter. He's improving. He's not going out there fucking swinging, just putting his fucking chin on the line. Whoever goes down first, that's who wins. He actually is an improved fighter. He's very tactical and meticulous now. He picks his shots. He's not going in there with a reckless abandon. He had 2 performance bonuses. I think he fought twice this year. Dustin Poirier for the BMF belt, and then Rafael Fiziev. And he got performance bonuses for that because he's the fucking highlight. Justin the Highlight Gaethje. Highlight or the highlight reel? I forgot which one. Highlight something. And now Islam is showing interest in fighting Gaethje instead of Oliveira, the Oliveira rematch. So he could potentially skip over Oliveira and fight Islam. And that's interesting because we saw how fucking absolutely destroyed fucking Gaethje got against Oliveira and Khabib. And if MMA math is correct, Oliveira beat Gaethje, Islam beat Oliveira, so it seems like it would be a wash. And then also Gaethje lost to Khabib, who is fucking Islam's best friend and head coach. For a while, he was his head coach. I know it's, what's his name, Javier Mendez or whatever. But he was in his corner, and he was like basically a cheat code for Islam. So I feel like Gaethje had a very good year because of those things. He's potentially in title contention. He might skip over Oliveira. He had 2 good fights, both performance bonuses. And he's not a sloppy fighter anymore. He's improved a lot. And he actually fought a fucking up-and-coming prospect, unlike fucking Poirier and fucking, what's his name, Chandler. Anyway, on to the next one. Shout out Gaethje. Alex Pereira, obviously he was going to make it on the list. Homeboy became double champ, 1 performance bonus. The only detractor from making him higher up on the list is that he lost to Adesanya to start off the year. And it was a pretty bad knockout, so can't really put him up higher than this. But double champ status does help him a lot. I think, is he the fastest person to achieve double champ status in the UFC? Because he got signed last year? Almost a year and a half ago or something. And his fight with Blachowicz was iffy stinker, but that was because of altitude, so I'm not going to blame the fighters. But he showed that he can hang with these guys at the light heavyweight division. He had a performance bonus against fucking Yuri Prochazka. He's a double champ, won the middleweight belt and fucking light heavyweight belt. I think I heard him talk about potentially moving up to heavyweight, so that would be interesting. Maybe first ever UFC triple champ. We'll see what happens with Alex Pereira in 2024. Very good fighter, very hyped. A lot of people fucking love this dude, mainly because everyone hates Izzy, but he's embracing the meme with the stone face. He has a personality. He's a personality. He's entertaining. Outside of the fucking Adesanya beef, he's an entertaining guy, and yeah, he deserves his spot on the top fighters of 2023. Anyway, next one we got Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall, I think, tore his ACL against Curtis Blades, was out for a while, came back, destroyed Marcin Tybura. First round, I don't know a minute or something like that. Beat his ass. That's all we need to know. And then he fought scary Sergey Pavlovich for the interim title, and he won that title. But I'm going to say he is undisputed champion because Stipe and Jones are fighting for the retirement belt and basically holding up the division. And I'm pretty sure once they retire, Aspinall's just going to get promoted to undisputed. So, you know what? The comeback story because everyone leading into his fight with Marcin Tybura, some people were like, yeah, obviously he's going to be Marcin Tybura. It's Marcin Tybura, no offense. And Tom Aspinall's with the shits. But, with an injury like that, you don't know how someone would recover. And he showed that he's perfectly fine. Beat fucking Marcin Tybura's ass. Beat fucking Sergey Pavlovich's ass in the first round as well as he did, just like he did in the Marcin Tybura fight. Both first round, both performance bonuses. Smacked my mic, my bad. So yeah, Tom Aspinall had a fucking good year. And he's basically undisputed heavyweight champion, so fuck it, yeah. The only reason why I'm not putting him up to number 1 or anything is because he's technically interim champ because Jon Jones and Stipe holding up the division, so it is what it is. But he had a very good year. Up next, I think we're approaching the end. Sean Strickland. This may seem crazy, like, what the fuck? Sean Strickland on number 1? How? We'll get into that later. Smack the fucking mic again. I'm sorry. He's 3-0. He started off the year with the first event of the year, which was a quick turnaround from his Jared Cannonier fight. Beat fucking Amavov's ass. Fought Abdul, whatever the fuck his name was, copy and paste Russian kickboxer. Beat his ass. Got a bonus for that. And obviously we know he beat Adesanya's ass. Got a bonus for that too. He's an exciting personality. I feel like he's gained a lot of fans with his no fucks given attitude. Fight anywhere, anytime. Took the fucking fight against Adesanya on short notice and dethroned him. I don't know how many times that has happened in the UFC. But that's still very impressive because everyone's just like, yeah, there's no way Strickland beats Adesanya. And then he went out there and did the unthinkable and beat Adesanya in dominant fashion. Wow. In dominant fashion. No one thought he could shut down the game of Israel Adesanya like that. A lot of people were like, it's just going to be another point fight win for fucking Adesanya. Pity patter bullshit, leg kick bullshit. But no, he was in his face, pushing the pressure. He even knocked him down in the first round. He's just kicking his ass. It looked like he took Adesanya's soul. Adesanya was like, fuck, dude, I just want to make it to a decision loss. So yeah, Strickland had a very good year. I forgot who was, MMA Junkie voted him Fighter of the Year. I disagree, but I understand why he would be Fighter of the Year. And like I said, my number 1 may be, I feel like objectively this number 1 is number 1. But I could understand your argument for Sean Strickland being number 1. I just don't think so, based on accolades and just overall hype. I feel like Strickland's hype, but it doesn't seem like he'll hold the belt for that long. because you got Dricus Du Plessis, Robert Whittaker, a rematch with Jared Cannonier. It all seems like he could lose these fights. Everyone can lose, I know it's MMA, but he doesn't seem like he would be a dominant champion stacking up fucking 5+ title defenses. Anyway, the final one on the list does seem like he could be a dominant champion, and that is Islam Makhachev, bro. Come on. Islam Makhachev definitely had the best year. Best fighter of the year. Mainly because he silenced the haters in the Volkanovski rematch. A lot of people, after the first Volkanovski fight, were like, Islam got exposed. I feel like Oliveira in the rematch could kick his ass. I feel like Islam took that to heart. And not getting pound for pound number 1, I think he took that to heart. And look what happened in the rematch for Volkanovski. Sure, it was on 2 weeks' notice, sure. But Volk looked good. He didn't look sloppy. He didn't look plotty man in there. He was moving pretty good. And then Islam fucking head kicked him into the shadow realm. He was very patient. You could see his striking. His striking is fucking amazing. And I was honestly like, Volkanovski kind of exposed him. He might lose to Charles. But now I'm like, damn. I don't know. Because his striking's really good. A lot of people like to say Khabib's better than him, but Khabib's striking was kind of dookie asshole. Islam's striking's good. And then his grappling's good too. He's like a really well-rounded fighter, and it's kind of scary. Because I can't confidently say that Oliveira can take him in the rematch. I can't confidently say Justin Gaethje takes him. I can't confidently say Arman Sarian takes him. It seems like he has that aura of invincibility. He kind of had that after he dismantled Charles in their first fight. Lost it in the Volkanovski first fight this year. And then he regained it in the second fight. I'm like, who's going to fuck with Islam? Justin Gaethje? I don't think so. Justin Gaethje's fucking grappling is fucking ass. His striking's alright, but I think Islam's a better striker. You know what I'm saying? And then he's potentially moving up to fight Leon Edwards. That's exciting because he seems unbeatable in the lightweight division. So obviously the only logical thing is to move up. And if he moves up, he's better than Khabib. I hope all these Khabib fanboys can shut the fuck up after that happened. Because Khabib didn't want to move up. He dominated the lightweight division, which is fine. But I feel like Islam can dominate the lightweight division and become a double champ. And he finally achieved his pound for pound number 1. I'm pretty sure he did. I don't think it was MMA Fighting's list. I'm pretty sure on the official UFC rankings, he's pound for pound number 1, which is well deserved. Because as much as I love Volk and how close that first fight was, I can understand why they wouldn't give the pound for pound number 1 ranking to Islam because of how close it was. But he still technically beat him, so you should fucking just give it to him. And I'm glad he finally achieved that. Shout out fucking Islam. He just has that scary aura of invincibility. I hope he continues to fight for a while. I want to see him stack up wins. Ow, my fucking eye just fucked up. But I hope he stacks up wins. I hope he gets double champ. I wasn't an Islam hater. I like Islam, but I wouldn't say I was an Islam fan. But now I'm an Islam fan. Obviously, I'm going to root for my boy Charles because that's my boy. I was a fan of his way before I was a fan of Islam's. So I can't jump ship. That's my dog. Of course I'm going to root for him. But yeah, Islam's fucking scary. Very well-rounded fighter. Silence the fucking haters. Who can confidently say that someone beats Islam in the lightweight division? Like who is impressive enough that like, ooh, if he gets in there with Islam already beat Arman once. I know that was a long time ago, but and sure fucking Arman improved as a fighter, but so did Islam. And fucking Arman hasn't fought anyone on the level of a Charles Oliveira. I can't confidently say that. Can't confidently say Benoit Saint-Denis fucking can take Islam. Can't confidently say Poirier, Chandler, Gaethje, all these guys can't confidently say that. He has that aura of invincibility. Sean Strickland, I'm going back to Strickland. Sean Strickland doesn't have that aura of invincibility. He had a good year. I don't doubt that he had a good year. But I feel like Islam had a better year because he lost that aura of invincibility and then regained it. And I feel like it's even more intense than it was before. You know what I'm saying? I feel like his aura of invincibility is just like, yeah, he's probably going to be a champion in 2024. You know what I'm saying? But you can't confidently say that about Sean Strickland. I feel like maybe I detracted from the metrics a little bit. Sean Strickland still had a good year, but I feel like Islam losing his aura of invincibility and then regaining it tenfold was more impressive than Sean Strickland. And he also was pound for pound number 1. So that's an accolade that Sean Strickland is not even close to. So I'm giving it to Islam. I feel like Islam needs his flowers. Everyone loves Strickland. Everyone fucking kind of just shits on Islam. And I feel like he needs to be recognized that he is probably the best fighter of 2023. You guys are probably wondering, like, oh, why the fuck is Jon Jones not in here? Homeboy fought once, got injured, and is fucking holding up the division. That's why he's not fucking number 1. He didn't have a good year. I mean, obviously he had a good year. He fucking beat Cyril Gane, got the heavyweight championship, and then he was going to fight fucking Stipe. If he fought Stipe on International Fight Week and then potentially had a third fight, he probably would have had the best year. If it was just him winning the belt against Cyril Gane and then fighting Stipe International Fight Week, he probably would have been tied for 1 or number 2. He would have been above Strickland. But he didn't do that. And I know Charles Oliveira knocked out Beneil Dariush. That was an impressive win. But that was his only fight. He got injured before his rematch with with Islam. So Oliveira had a good year, but not in the top 14, 15. I feel like his stock stayed the same. That is the end of the first end of the year list. I will be releasing more of these. I hope you all have a good holiday season. Happy holiday week. I don't know. Holiday season. I'm pretty sure that's the... It just doesn't sound right to me. I'm usually used to saying happy holidays. So I have a happy holiday season. That sounds weird. But anyway, hope everyone has a happy holidays. Please like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I love reading your comments. I love replying. So yeah, just let me know what you think. And yeah, thank you for watching and have a great rest of your day.